There's there's always like a weird I just drooled a little bit, Danielle. There's always like a weird awkward silence before we go live, but here we are, we're live. We're live everywhere. Hi.
Hi. No worries about weird,
Oh,
awkward
you're
silence.
so
I have it happen all the time.
the weird awkward silence. When was the last time you were weirdly awkwardly silent?
Now, this morning, yeah, all the time.
If you're watching us on social, um, I happen to be at my husband's office and the internet is staggered. So, worst case scenario, if it keeps happening, we can always just reschedule our live. But um, when I planned this podcast to discuss the art of joy in practice, Danielle was one of the first people to come to mind. And the reason for that is because I know how much you love what you do.
Mhm.
And my hope is that we can have a conversation today and spark joy for the practice owners, the practitioners who are listening to us share. So please introduce yourself. Where are you? Who are you? What do you do? All of the things.
Well, like the demographic stuff, I live in Missouri, about an hour west of St. Louis. I have three kiddos. They're 14, 11, and 7, all girls. I have a partner who is amazing. And he also has 3 children. They're 19, 17, and 11. So we have a lot going on. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and like usually at least 1 extra kid, if not 3 to 4 extra kids in our house on top of our 6. So it's chaos. And
How do you keep
that's
your cool?
well, I don't always. Um, So there's that, right? But I think honestly, I do a pretty good job of keeping my cool amongst all of the chaos. My kids wouldn't necessarily agree with you on that, but they've never had another mom, so they don't know the difference. How do I do it? Part of it is just like my nature, my natural personality. Part of it is also having grown up being the oldest daughter, oldest granddaughter. I have a ton of siblings myself, so I'm used to chaos. I'm used to a lot of people, and I also, was like a peacekeeper. Um, I was in the role of not rocking the boat, of not bothering my parents with my own needs or like my own wants. So I learned to just take care of myself and not need things from other people. So I don't I don't know. I feel like, most of the time we look at that as like a bad thing, but I feel like it has I've gotten to a place where it serves me in the reality that I live in now. Where like
Right.
I'm able to hold all of these people and all the things going on in a relatively calm way pretty much the majority of the time.
How do you help how do you help other practitioners get to that point?
Hmm.
Because it sounds like you grew up being there, like you grew up with those skills. What about those of us who don't innately have the skills of keeping our cool?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, I really think that anything that we want to do, we can learn.
Mm,
And especially now that I'm at 45, like I guess this is midlife, if we want to call it that. I'm finding that my circle is a lot of other people who are in their 40s and 50s, sometimes older, and they're like, oh, I can't do this because I'm too old, or I need a teenager to do this for me. I don't believe that. I don't hold that to be true, because there was a time for you and I both. I don't know, I can't speak for you, but I would be willing to bet you that you had some of this happen for you when you were in chiropractic school, and it was very intense for me. There was a time that like I didn't know what I was doing. as a chiropractor, right? Or as a chiropractic student, that it felt scary, it felt hard, it felt intimidating. I didn't want people to see me adjusting or setting up on a patient because I looked ridiculous, or at least I felt ridiculous. I thought I looked ridiculous. Even just knowing the difference between medial and lateral, post,
Yeah.
like those things were hard at some point. And now, after almost 20 years of practice, it's not, it's like automatic. We don't have to think about it. So I think like a lot of times we have these bigger dreams that we want to go after, and we forget that we can do hard things. And through doing those hard things is really where we cultivate joy.
And when you're figuring the hard things out and you're cultivating joy, like how do you deal with the labor pains? What are your daily, weekly, monthly go-tos to, because I'm thinking about the people who are in pain emotionally, spiritually, physically. They want to serve great care. They want to be better for their community, but they don't know how to get through the day to day.
Mm-hmm.
How do they get through the day to day? What are the things that they need to do to be good?
Research actually supports this. And when I first started telling people to do this, it was just my idea. I guess I got lucky. I later found out, oh, there's actually evidence that supports this idea. One of the first things that we need to do is we need to be in community with other people, whatever that might mean to you, like joining your state association and getting active with it, or just like asking a friend, even if you're not that close anymore, to do something with you on a regular basis, like having a standing date with you every month or every other week. And the reason why this is hard is because we tell ourselves that we're too busy to do that, or
Right.
like people don't want to do that, or you don't want to be a burden to other people. But the reality, I mean, the data just shows that we have to prioritize relationships and we need to have support. And when you're like on that island in your own office all day, it's so easy to just be looping around in your negative thoughts.
Right.
And it's in relationship with other people where those negative thoughts can be like pulled apart and deconstructed. It's not when we just sit alone and do it by ourselves.
Are there other tools that you found really helpful to keep joy relevant in practice?
Mm-hmm, yeah, being really ruthless about the things that can be a part of practice that don't need to be a part of practice. So this
Like
is
what?
really your expertise, right? Like having a cash practice is just the easiest, simplest option. And if you're in network, I can never make the decision for someone else. So I'm careful about this, but I've gone out of network. I did it 11 years ago. It was literally one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because I just took a whole list of things that I didn't enjoy doing, that I wasn't good at, that weren't profitable, and I just wiped them off the table and never had to do
Right.
them again. Gone, poof. And I've never looked back. I've never regretted
Was
that
it
decision.
fear before you did that, Danielle? Like, did you say to yourself, there are going to be all these people who aren't going to come to me, or you didn't even look at that?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I was afraid. And fear was the reason that I went in network with all those
Right.
people in the first place.
So my buddy Michael Sarnoff just did the whole Facebook Live. And if you guys know Michael, go find the live that he did on love versus hate. And all that there is love and hate. I disagree. I believe that all that there is love, and hate is just lost love. It's just the opposite, not yet realizing the love. I really do believe that. And his point was, we're constantly striving for love, and we're either going to act out of love or we're going to act out of hate or fear. And every day I have to make the decision. I have to bite my tongue. I have to do the run, right? Go lift the weights. Go say I'm sorry if I mess up, whatever it is. So do you have like I'm going back because I asked the question. I want to ask it again. Do you have like rituals that you do regularly to stay connected to joy, love, to have the right lenses on so that you're looking through how you want to be looking through to behave the way that you want to behave?
Well, yeah. So first is being in community with other people, right? So
Right.
that's something that I have to be intentional about because I tend to just want to stay alone and be by myself and not bother other people and not need anything from other people. But frankly, with as many people as I live with in my home, I do feel like alone time recharges me, it grounds me. I can stay by myself forever.
Mhm.
So I have to be intentional about like making time to be in a group of like-minded people and being able to say like this is what's going on for me. Can you believe this is going on? And let them support me. Um, Going to the gym is it's like I don't even want to say it, but it is really important for me in keeping myself mentally, emotionally, obviously physically healthy because, well, I was just processing this morning as I was like thinking about our conversation today. I was at the gym and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, I've been at this gym now for 3 years. 3 years. And for the first 2 years and let's say like 8 months, I felt like all the only thing that was happening was my clothes were getting tighter because I'm building muscle. My biceps, I mean, you can even see it. My shoulders, my biceps, my lats, they're huge. But just over the last 2 to 3 months, I'm like, oh, now I'm really seeing the results I've been wanting to see since I got here 3 years ago. And if you had told me 3 years ago, hey, you got to go and you got to go 3, 4 times a week, sometimes more. And there are days where you're going to feel like you're going to vomit. And and also you're going to go when you're tired, you're going to go when you're sore, you're going to go when you haven't slept well. I wouldn't have done it.
Mm.
But what I realized this morning is I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing like, oh, I'm seeing my body changing now in the ways I've been wanting it to for so long. And I'm feeling the joy of this now.
It took time. Time takes time, right?
Yes. So that's like such a hard thing because when you feel burned out, overwhelmed, when you're just like, I'm just so exhausted from doing this thing called practice, you can really feel like you need something to change now.
Are there things that change now? Are there things that are immediate, like immediate gratification for you?
Taking a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that look like?
Um, Physically changing my environment. So going away from home is important to me specifically. I have a protocol that I've had people follow for a long time. I don't know if you know this, but if did you ever hear this? I don't know what to call it, like belief that you'll be in practice for 7 years or longer before you take any time off.
No.
Oh gosh, this was like something maybe that was at the school I attended.
Like they find that this is like study based, like people don't take a break for 7 years.
Yeah, but it's more so like you've got to work that hard for at least that long before you can even
Oh,
think about,
man. That's crazy.
yeah. Well, I know that now, but I believed it then,
Right.
right? And so my belief really was like I have to give everything all the time to this business to for it to be successful. And it didn't take very long before I figured out like that doesn't work for me.
Mhm.
And taking time off, what, 12 years ago from my practice, it felt like the end of my practice. I was like, this is all going to fall apart if I take a week off. There will be nothing left when I come back.
What else did you believe then that you don't believe now?
uh,
Good question, isn't it?
That you have to be affordable for everyone, or
Right.
like you have to be available all of the time. I mean, you're a perfect example of that. Your practice schedule is pretty minimalist. Mine is too. And it just is what it is. Like I'm obviously not the right fit for everybody because I'm not going to be seeing patients from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I've known people that have had office hours posted on their front door, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I'm like, if you're coming to me because you're like the problem is that you're overwhelmed and exhausted, take that off the door right now.
Right. Can
So
you imagine, Danielle? No,
not now, no.
not now. Not with 6 kids and 3 friends, and 2
Right,
dogs and 2 cats, and a John.
right. No, not now. No.
I
Before,
I really appreciate your ability to communicate in digestible bite-sized pieces. I think it's one of my favorite things about you.
thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about talk to the person who is in practice, whatever kind of practice they're in, PT, OT, chiro, whatever,
Yeah.
who's at their wits' end and they're thinking about quitting or leaving what they're currently doing. What do they do? Where do they start?
Just go ahead and quit. I know it sounds flippant, right? Like just go ahead and quit. And when I tell that to people, they're like, "Oh, but I can't." I'm like, "Well, why can't you? You're telling me that you want to, so what's keeping you there?" But asking that question starts to get like under the surface of why do they actually still want to be in practice, which they've probably lost sight of because they've got all this. Usually, it's the administrative stuff, right? Like the administrative stuff is tedious and boring and stressful and all the things that they don't want to do, and it's distracted them from why they wanted to do this in the first place. So, like, really, just go ahead and quit. Walk away from your lease. Accept the consequences of doing that. Not don't have the stress of submitting claims and people that are late and don't show up for their appointments. That's fun. I've done it for a long time. Like it's it's great to not have those things going on. But most likely there's this sense in you of like, oh, but this is my purpose. This is my purpose. So then you get to decide like one thing at a time, what needs to go?
Right.
What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to eliminate so that I can just focus on the part of this that does fulfill me? That being said, I think there's something to setting aside our emotions to a certain extent. There's We're not going to always be happy. We're not going to always be joyful. Of course, like the more often we can stay in those states, great. But life's, as you know, as I know,
Mhm.
unexpected things happen. And if we have this expectation that we should always be so happy to be here, then when those things happen that have us feeling the opposite of that, it can then feel like, oh, why bother? Why am I doing this? Because
Right.
the reward feels like it's missing.
The reward's not always right there. Like sometimes the reward, like what you were just saying about the gym, it takes time.
Yes.
What's the zero to booked method?
It's a method that I've created to help practitioners, chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, the list goes on, get visible on social media in a meaningful way, not just like showing what they ate for lunch because nobody cares. And it doesn't actually get people to book an appointment with you. But it's also not about going viral and doing goofy things either. It's like this sensible approach to building your practice through social media so that people see you as an authority and an expert in what you do in your area. And you're the natural, obvious choice when they have the problem that you help people with.
I love it. And how do people get involved?
You can DM me, find me on Facebook. The URL is there. I have a couple of different options for people. Um, one is like, I just tell you what to post, which when I first started offering that, I was like, nobody needs this. We have Chat GPT. Chat GPT can do it for you. But there's something about, I guess, like my expertise and the way that I sort of put it all together for people that they're like, no, I want you to do it for me. So that's actually really inexpensive, really, really inexpensive. I just charge like a monthly fee and people can do with it what they want to. The other option is like a more hands-on but group experience with me where we have coaching calls and we do obviously like the strategy and the tactic, but also the headspace stuff that comes along with being more visible. We work through the fears and the doubts and the worries and the concerns.
So important. And your reputation precedes you. Like anybody who works with you loves working with you. So I can absolutely attest to that. This is my favorite question. If somebody was to say to you, you know, Danielle, I keep seeing Jody's stuff all over Instagram because she does such a good job at going on Instagram, and that was a joke. I obviously suck at it. What if someone was to say to you, I'd like to know what your opinion is about what Jody's doing at Selfless Practice and with the practice suite, what would you say to them?
I would tell them that if you're looking for something to just sign up for and have it fix all the problems for you, don't do it. But if you're willing to put in the work to get the result that you want to get out of this, go for it. And that's, I mean, really that applies to just about any good program that's available out there, right? But yeah, like from what I know about the staffless world, if you show up and you really like, don't sign up for this and that and that and that. It's like learn from one person. Go learn from Jody and learn all the things that she has to offer. Implement all of the things and see where it takes you. Instead, what a lot of people do is like they sign up for this program and this one because they're feeling motivated, and we get that little hit of dopamine when we sign up for stuff, and then it all falls off when you don't implement anything.
Right, and it just I'm totally guilty of buying programs that just sit. And well, I appreciate you, and I love knowing that you are out there. You're pounding pavement in your amazingly authentic way, and I right back at you. I would say 100 times over, absolutely check out what Danielle's doing because she doesn't do anything half-ass. So with that being said, I appreciate you jumping on today and talking about joy. I'm sorry my internet got so weird. We're actually not even live on Instagram. We went live on Facebook and LinkedIn. So and YouTube, if you guys are watching us there, follow us and find Danielle. You can just find her on Facebook, Dr. Danielle Angela, and lean into the world that she offers because it's pretty incredible. And as always, Danielle, is there anything else that you want to share with the community?
As you were kind of wrapping that up, I was like, yeah, like, come, let's play. I'll take you on a ride.
Go on a Danielle roller coaster, on a Danielle ride. I have such a clear memory, Danielle, of walking around a track when my boys were at baseball. This had to be 7 or 8 years ago. No, it was like 5 years. It was during the pandemic. It was 5 years ago. And I was like, I'm doing this thing, Danielle, and I don't know what it's looking like, and I don't know if I should do it, and I'm not a coach. She's like, Jody, you are a coach. And I'm like, no, I'm not a coach. Coaching is not my thing, you know? And you were one of the first people to say yes to my vision. And it gave me permission to lean in. And I think that's how I see you more than anything is you give people permission to really discover their potential, their capabilities. And that's what an amazing coach does. So thank you for being you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, go make the world better with great care, and we'll talk soon. Danielle, don't leave.